Slack is officially acquired by Salesforce for $27 billion. So that's a very shocking news. Many people are talking about this. And today we're going to look into some acquisition details and also the financial details of Slack. I will provide you some analysis why Slack they prefer being acquired by a larger company. So let's just look at the valuation first. By today, Slack's valuation is $25 billion according to its stock market price in December 1st, 2020. And compared to Salesforce, it's just around maybe 13% of Salesforce valuation, which is almost $220 billion. That's definitely a huge company, and it's a very profitable company compared to Slack. Slack is, in fact, it's not even making profit now, but it has a lot of potential. So let's look at some details of the acquisition. If you are a Slack stock owner, if you own one share of Slack stock, you will have $26 in cash plus some share of Salesforce stock. According to this value, Slack's acquisition is around $27 billion. And this deal will be closed in the fiscal years of Salesforce 2022 Q2. So we need to be careful. It's like fiscal years sometimes very different from the calendar years. Sometimes like 1 year ahead of calendar years, but I think that's not the most important thing. Some other things, like say the Slack will be integrated to Salesforce Customer 360, which is one component of Salesforce product. Slack is actually a very big company by many metrics. For example, it has a very rich, it has 2,400 apps in its app directory, and you also have customer apps and the integration that happen on a weekly basis. It's around 800,000 apps that being integrated every week, and there are almost 1 million active developers in Slack community. So that's a lot of numbers, a lot of them. Slack really have an active developer community, and there are many apps being developed every week, I think. Before we dive in some details of Slack's financial details, if you would like to receive more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription is my best encouragement to make more videos like this. Slack is actually facing a very challenging time. The biggest challenger is Microsoft. Microsoft just jumped in making corporation messaging apps in 2016, but it has a very big advantage, which is its 360. It's Office, it has Word, PowerPoint, Excel, this kind of bundle business software. They already many big corporations are using. Microsoft's strategy was to deploy Microsoft Teams as a bundle. So those corporations already using Microsoft Office, they don't have to pay extra for Microsoft Teams. So that's why you can see the adaptation of Microsoft Teams sky high. It's definitely the exponential growth, and it actually surpassed Slack in 2.5 years in terms of the number of users. And on the contrary, Slack's user growth is more like linear. It's definitely not really comparable to Microsoft. Microsoft's advantage is just too huge. So you can see Microsoft is like selling Microsoft Teams for free. That's why Slack is very hard to compete with Microsoft Teams. Microsoft's strategy probably is to get a user market share first. Then after that, they may raise the price. So that's their strategy. So that's also why Slack actually filed antitrust lawsuit earlier this year. I actually made a video about that because they say Microsoft selling like this way, it's not really fair. They need to sell Microsoft Teams separately from its original bundle. Let's just take a look at some detail of Slack financially. So they have a very good customer adaptation. The number of customers, here is the number in thousands, actually increased quite steadily. The number of customers actually increased quite stably. It's around 25 to 30% yearly growth. So that's quite an impressive number. But in terms of the margin, let's just look at the gross margin first. Gross margin is very high. It's very traditional SaaS company's gross margin. It's around 80%. But if you look at the operational margin means you need to subtract their staff salaries for employees or some other marketing fee, and you can find out that the operational margin is just much lower. It's around 100% lower than the gross margin. So after you subtract that, they don't really make money. Later I will show you the net income, but the operational margin is just very low. It's still minus, and this is their net income. The net income actually still very low in terms of EPS and in terms of the money value. But in the Q3, which is this fiscal year 2021, but it's actually happened in 2020. It actually make the profit for the first time, which is last quarter. So that's also impressive. If in the future they continue this trend, they can definitely become profitable in a yearly base. So that's why that's attractive about Slack. And this kind of SaaS company is very hard to evaluate its value. So definitely you need to think about that. The reason it wants Salesforce to acquire it is probably the competition part here. It's just the competition from Microsoft is too fierce. And Microsoft has definitely tremendous amount of money. They can throw a lot of money to compete with Slack. Basically, they sell their product for free. So that Slack will not really able to obtain enough customers. Then Microsoft can maybe have market share for about 70-80%. Basically become monopoly first. Then Slack will die out, and Microsoft will raise the money, raise the price. That's definitely the textbook operation for a monopoly business, especially in the SaaS, in the software business. After acquired by Salesforce, maybe Slack will have more money to compete with Microsoft. I think this is the main reason. So that's all analysis for today. And if you would like to receive more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. I'm planning to make more company analysis like this. And other than that, take care. I will see you next time.